Okay, I usually don't do this, but I'm going to try to play the 10 going to try to play a Tengen game. I heavily advise you against people doing this, but I've actually seen more and more people do this lately. So that's why I'm playing the Tengen first. So I'm gonna try to see like how you would actually use the Tengen because essentially almost no one use like the people that the lower SDK players I play against, almost no one actually uses the Tengen right. The people that the lower SD because they I think they kind of forget what the Tengen move is actually for. So the Tengen move controls. First of all, the Tengen move actually does control a lot of ladders. You do lose a couple of points by just playing the Tengen instead of one of the corners, which is why I heavily suggest people not actually play the Tengen. But if you create ladders going towards the middle, like that's where the Tengen move actually comes in use, and it does influence like you building moyos and certain things. So that's kind of how this works. Usually, I do think people play D5 instead of D6. Um, I don't even know if this is the right play. It could be a really, really bad play for me, actually. I think it actually is. You know, what would happen if he just played C2? I had to connect. He would take this stone. Then I would have to come out this way, but I would have to sacrifice that side too. So I don't really know about that. I mean, I think this is a pretty bad play by me, anyways, because it's like one line down. This is definitely not a good play by me. Um, Might have been better off playing this, or even just playing like F4 than something along that lines. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and fight this. That's just kind of a weird play. Um, yeah, I can see why you did it, but still a really, really odd play, in my opinion. That's a bad play. Um, I think I'm gonna do this. Gosh, probably did that wrong, but whatever. Might have just been better going down. I don't like what I just did. There's very little territory right there, and there's a lot of influence here. I definitely played this fight wrong. Definitely played this fight wrong. But he actually has a lot of cutting points. Should I do this first? I think so. Yeah, I have to do this, I think. Oh wait, I think I messed that up completely. Oh, I definitely messed that up completely. I think I just died. I definitely messed that up. That's not good. Oh no, I didn't. Am I okay on this? I don't know. That's an interesting move. I mean, I know why he did it. He's trying to kill me there, but can he do it? Is the question. I'm not really sure if he can do it. Pretty sure I messed that up. I completely forgot it. Um, I should have played the down move first. That's definitely not a good move for him. That's tightening his liberties one. You can't do that because I'm just going to kill you here. And that's a huge loss. You definitely should have played f4 first. Definitely should have played f4, and then if I Hane out, you double Hane. Eventually, I might be able to kill these two, but you could get that thing on the bottom. You're not going to win this particular fight, because I'm a couple liberties ahead. You might be able to get those stones, though. I will say that. And actually, you won't, because you have a fake eye and I have a real one. If you play here, you're just going to go in the consecutive ko and you're going to lose. All I have to do is tighten on the outside, and he cannot do anything. He can't make this. He can't make this move, so he has already instantly lost. So like in this case, like if I have like in this case where you have a lot of combined liberties, mutual liberties, the person that has an eye will pretty much always win. See, I don't even have to respond to that. He can't do anything because he can never squeeze this liberty. In the case where a lot of people where you have a bunch of mutual liberties, the person with the eye will always win the liberty fight. So that's just a bad mistake that he actually made. Honestly, like when he extended over that way, I should have just like came over to this way. So just kind of a thing for next time. So this is a really short game. I will actually play another one. This is definitely a short game. Like I said, I was just trying to explore the Tengen. I probably won't do this for very long because you can see like this cost me like 2 points when I play it. That's fine. I think the best move is just to play here. And had this been an even game, I would have probably just played h3. But I tucked here, which is generally a bad move. So this variation is interesting because if he actually does like this, if he actually does this, this would actually put me in a really hard spot because it would almost force me to do this. And that's just not a very good outcome for white. So I was kind of afraid him actually doing that. This is one of the few situations you can actually do this because, like, it doesn't really matter which way you go, I guess. Because this doesn't, like, this, you don't have this ladder working here, so you can't do this. So yeah, I was actually really afraid of him playing c2, because then I would have to reconsider my other options. Because if he plays c2, I really can't do anything. So he did the wrong Atari. That's fine, but he's still way, way ahead. So here, these are probably going to be Sente. And since, remember, like this particular Joseki is supposed to be done a line up, which is a lot better for white. On this, I would just go ahead. I would just go ahead and do this as black because you're not giving up nearly as much. And if white does something like this, the consecutive Hanes are always in your favor. So I would just go at this point, I would just go ahead and do f4 and then go ahead and do g4 as well. He probably has to extend one more time, and then I would probably take something like this. And this gives black a very, very good advantage going into like just in the beginning of the game. So that's kind of how that worked out. But yeah, definitely I would probably play c2 because like this would give black a very, very tough time. Very, very tough time. I guess you could try to do this, but I don't know about this, man. This is just... I mean, I guess black isn't alive here, so I can see someone trying to do this. So I guess, yeah. I guess like, yeah, if he Ataris, you extend. And then extend here, and that would give him a hard time because this isn't alive yet. And you can't really make this alive, I guess, because like it's really hard to kill these two, and I'm not really even sure if you can. Because you have to fix this, and he can just jump out or take this up. So I guess that wouldn't be good for black on the extension. So yeah. So I guess he did actually play right here, because you do have the extension. So he did actually play right here. Never mind. This is kind of a strange... This is a weird move. I mean, that move is fine. This move is perfectly fine. I would honestly just do this. Because white's probably going to extend. Does that, it's fine. I'm going to come here. He does this. This, I would probably just do this first or something. Or maybe even just like go this way. I think this is probably a better move. Because if he extends, you just pincer all over here. So I played this wrong as well. You should definitely extend or something like that over here. This is not... The kick isn't good. You always have this move as a cop-out later on if things get really hairy. So like you can always kind of play over top. And that's why this move isn't good. Like this move removes the possibility of this move later on because you already have white connect. This, I feel like I should have just done this. Like either this or possibly this. One of those two. This was a bad move, obviously. Like this is a bad move because like it lets black wrap completely around, and white's very short on liberties here, so it's no good. He should have here and then I guess come out here or something like that. 2, where's the, oh, over here, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's a big complex fight over here, so I made a pretty big mistake here. I definitely should have done this and then just extend it out this way, but basically I did this. Yeah, if I was black, I would have done this. There's way too many cuts here. There's way too many cuts here for me to try to kill this. Like, this group is definitely in danger, but there's way too many cuts here for me to try to kill this. And if black plays the outside, forces white to do this, and forces white to live this way, and then you get Sente too and do something like this, black is way, way ahead. So you've already got a really good situation, and it's very tricky to try to kill this group because you have so many cuts out here. So that's kind of a mistake for black. I extend out. That's a really, really bad move. Because that's a really, really bad move. Once I take it, you don't have that liberty anymore. So this actually becomes much easier for me because it's just easier for me to. It's easier for. I don't need as many liberties to kill white with. Even if you do something like this, um, I guess that would still work. Actually, no. If you do this, I would probably just come out. No, I can't do that because you still have this. Okay, so I come out, he does this, I do this, and at this point, you have to worry, like, you can't just kill me right here. Like, you have to come out. I can live back there, and I would do this. At this point, I would probably just do something like this. Or, well, actually, no, at this point... Okay, if you did this, I could probably just live. But you would get this. However, this would be very problematic for black. So that's why white, this is actually pretty good for white, because I do get to separate these stones. Also, this is just generally, I mean, this is just generally bad, because once again, you take away one of your own liberties for no cost to me, and it makes you a lot easier to kill. Now, I can't do this because of the reason I just showed you. Because of the reason I just showed you guys. That would kill white. So you can't actually do that. But, like, depriving yourself of a liberty is generally not a good idea in these situations. So you got to watch out. So that's a very, very bad move. You leave that for later. You can, like, black can always do this. Black can always do this. He doesn't have to do this now. So you can see, like, that actually loses 10 points right there. That's a killer move right there. Obviously, I'm going to take it. And then doing this obviously kills you. You can't do that. You have to do this. You have to play F4. Because you have to run this group out. So this essentially just ends the game. And of course, like, I don't have to answer that. I'm just going to jump out. So that's... Like, and also, like, in a fight like this, where you have a lot of mutual liberties, the person with the real eye will always win. So, and then, like, now you've given up this corner, and you've given up this outside as well. So the game is essentially over at this point, whether he plays on or not. But there was a lot of fighting mistakes here. I made a lot of mistakes here because I'm not very familiar with this kind of fight, but now I will be. So I'm going to go ahead and play another game. Go ahead and play another game. And I'm going to wait for an opponent to accept my match. I will wait about 10 minutes. No one accepts within 10 minutes, I'll probably leave, but I will wait for about 10 minutes for someone to accept this challenge. Same time parameters as before. I do this time parameter mainly because it's more of like a tournament time parameter. This is about what you have for some tournaments. Wait, I'm actually black? I thought I was white for pretty much all of these. Okay, sure. Playing people with question mark ranks are always kind of strange because I don't really know what rank they are. And sometimes they can actually be better than me. Usually not. I don't think I've ever lost to anyone with a question mark rank, honestly. But you don't really know how good they are. You can always check the profile and stats to see like who they won and lost against. But since he doesn't have any rated games, it's kind of hard to say. And also, like, they don't have enough games to actually have an ELO rating. And if they made their ranking playing mostly correspondence, they may not perform as well in a live game because correspondence and live are very, very different. Correspondence and live are extremely different. They're completely different beasts. We actually just went over this last time. Why you shouldn't actually. Why you can't. Well, this is different because I can just come out this way. This is horrible for. This is actually really really horrible for white. The amount you gain here in the corner is really not worth what you're losing out here. Okay, this is just, you can't do that. You don't gain anything here as white, and you're losing the entire corner. Usually, people with question marks by their name are significantly actually below the rank the rank that I'm actually trying to target. But it's not bad for teaching as long as they're actually trying. By the way, that was a Joseki over there. I'm gonna play the connector. So I already have this corner here. This is an old Joseki. There's a lot of other. There's quite a few people that don't know this one, but this is an old Joseki. I think it was determined to favor white. That's not the way you play it, though. That's a bad move. It makes me very strong here. You still have problems here, and if you go down, it can Hane either up or down. So you don't want to do this. I feel like at this I feel like if you are around this type of rank, you would actually be it would be very beneficial for you to actually read a lot of read more Joseki books. It'd definitely be more beneficial to you to read Joseki books because um, at this stage, I would say you're not familiar with the fun like some of the fundamentals of the game. You know the basic rules, but you're not really that familiar with the fundamentals of the game. Like not like for instance like sacrificing this stone here, you really don't want to do that. Um, and if you actually just read a couple of conceptual things, by the way, I don't think this is a good move. I would have disconnected this easily. But why like letting someone take the stone is a sacrifice that's just like way too massive. And why also like continuously trying to hoard the territory up here is a bad idea. There are actually a lot of good conceptual books that like you can actually read and it will help you all throughout like your Q ranks and even some Dan ranks as well. Like beginning with So even though like this game isn't close, like this is actually a good teaching opportunity. The thing is like, do you cut here or do you cut here? If you cut here, he's gonna connect, and then you cut here and get these stones. So you would be trading this side for these few stones. If you cut here and he taris, then you basically get this down here, and I think that's better. So you would cut here first. You would definitely cut here first in my, well actually no, you wouldn't, would you? Let me actually check that again. I might actually be wrong about this because cutting, yeah, cutting that doesn't really make too much sense, I guess. Yeah, because that would actually kill me. That makes no sense. Um, okay, I actually have to think about this. Because if I cut here, he connects. I can't really Hane. Did I just put myself in a conundrum? I think I just did. Ah, screw it, we'll just do this. I think I put myself in a conundrum because if I do this, like, I don't have enough liberties down here. That's why. By the way, there is a, you can always play M6 and then play N7 afterwards. Didn't really think this through all that well. I'll probably lose the corner, but depends what he plays. I'm pretty sure he can just kill me on the corner. I'll see what he plays. I didn't really calculate the liberties in here first. I should have done that first. Definitely should have done that first. This black group is actually dead. There's a little bit, well, I wouldn't say it's dead, but there's a little bit of maneuverability for me. Okay, you can't do that, but I'm gonna do this first. That gives me the push out on both sides. So despite me screwing up here, still okay. Note that right now I'm not playing moves like O3 because that would strengthen my, that would like decrease my own liberties. I think he's ahead a little bit here. I'm not exactly sure. I might be. I have no idea actually right now. Because I have an eye as well. He's not alive. He doesn't have two eyes, but I don't either. Okay, I don't think you can just go play that because I'm going to just do this now. Actually, I should have, at this point, I should have done this first because I don't exactly know how this is going to turn out here. I mean, I could probably read it, but I just don't really want to right now. And the thing is, like, if I get this side, it doesn't really matter what else White does. White's just not going to have enough points to win. White already sacrificed a lot over here, so he can't afford to lose this here. And plus, this isn't stable, so I can come out at any time. Sometimes, like, you have to realize you have to win certain fights, if possible, to actually win the game. Like, you're never going to be able to get this territory in here, because I can just come out on places like this. So there's actually not much territory in here at all. So here you do not double Atari because you can just, these two stones are useless. They're not keystone connectors to any group. You Atari this way because you want these. Get these two stones, you break his territory up here. If you Atari here, he's just going to go over top. You get 4 points, but then he seals his influence up here. So that's why you're Atariing this way. It really doesn't do anything. I mean, I'm just going to jump this way. He could possibly get like some territory here, but based on how much he's lost on the side, it won't really matter all that much. And also, like, I can just come out here as well if I really want to. There's too many problems with trying to seal this territory off. Like, being obsessive about the center territory is just not a good. You can't really be obsessive about the center territory. The center territory is monstrously hard to actually, like, if you don't know how to use the influence, like, the center territory is just like monstrously hard to actually do anything with. There's so many cuts here that there's really not much you can do. And a lot of times, like, lower ranked players, they'll give up way too much to actually try to seal off the center territory. And if you actually break it down mathematically and you count how much the territory is actually worth versus how much you actually gave up, you'll see very quickly that it's just not worth it. Like, the most he can gain is, I mean, it's not bad. It's like maybe 50 points here, but giving up this, that's dead. Giving up this, all of this. This is way more though. Obviously, like if you've just started, you're not going to be that good at these kind of like life and death things. So that is something that comes with practice and shape realization. Also, like when you're in this phase, also when you are in this phase, I definitely suggest you do not copy the AI in your play. Mostly because you won't understand what the AI is actually doing, and your play is definitely not going to have the same results as the AI. Yeah, see, like you have to connect this stone. This stone is I'm not going to be able to kill this, and doing that is just way too much of a loss. Like it's the same mistake as this one here. That's a keystone. You have to connect it. Yeah, I'm going to let him make the center territory because, like I said, it's not that big. Like I always have an option here. Um, I always have the option here to come out. That's fine. I'm just gonna do this actually because I want to secure this corner. I don't actually care about like him breaking the side over here, and he still has to seal off his center, which he can't really seal off. That's the other problem. He can't really seal off his center because there's still this move here, and you can't do anything about this move here. And if you play this first, like that's a pretty big move, but I can just come up here and get this center territory. Remember what I said before. The point of Go is not to hoard all the territory. The point of Go is just to get more territory than your opponent. And I think a lot of players actually miss that point. They think they need to get every space, every piece of territory, like every space to win. That's not true at all. You can win perfectly fine by just having more territory than your opponent. You do not need all the territory to win. Pro tip. Pro tip indeed. So a lot of times like this, just maximizing your territory while minimizing your opponent's territory is perfectly fine. That's going to be Sente. Something like that's not a good way to fix, and that's actually a problematic way to fix that problem. I'll show you. I'll show you guys why later. This is actually really big. That's why I'm going to play it first. It threatens down here, and it also threatens up here. Also, like plays like this are really big, so I'm gonna play these first. I think I can disconnect these three stones, by the ways, but I'm just gonna go ahead and play these first. Make sure I just expand my territory over here. That doesn't make any sense, but Okay, so now I'm going to play this here. This is risky, though. There is a chance that he completely destroys this bottom territory. We're going to do this first. Also, doing this, you can play this and have the double Atari. You can play this and then have the double Atari on the back. Well, I guess this wouldn't work right now. But you can just play. I can play this, though. And then just play this. So that's how you disconnect those three. You know, even though like in a game like this where it's not extremely close in a teaching game, there are things to actually teach. Here you basically just make sure you don't mess up. Do things like this. Make sure he doesn't get two eyes, and you're golden. This doesn't really matter. Yeah, this you definitely go this way. At this point. And you would actually connect here. If he goes this way, you just come, yeah, just connect. You don't have to, remember, if he pushes, you don't have to block. So that's one thing that a lot of lower ranked players actually make a huge mistake on. They think that if someone pushes, they have to block. That's not true. Not true at all, people. Not true at all. There's probably something I can do here. It's a little too late for this. Now, is it? No, there might be something because I left. Yeah, there might be something here. I don't think so necessarily. Do this first. I feel like doing that first is pretty important. You gotta nix the eye opportunities here. That doesn't really matter. Just gonna fix this right now. Remember, these two are dead, so. I don't think there's anything there. This is pretty big. Because if he... Oh, actually, you know what? I'm stupid. I should have done that and then come back because I could have killed this entire group. I wasn't watching. Was not watching. That's bad on my part. Should have Atari'd here and then pulled back. It's my bad. Definitely my bad. Okay, he just kind of made my thing easy for me. He can go here. Well, yeah, but now you're just dead, so. Like, this group in here is dead. He can't connect, so I'm going to Atari out here. You do have to watch for a lot of these technical things, like when you have a double Atari and when you can't really connect. There's actually there's a lot of basics that like this obviously like is something that recognizing things like this is just something that comes with practice obviously. But a lot of the other stuff like you know how I was able to disconnect these stones down here are things that lower SDKs should pick up if they want to improve. Because I do see lower SDKs make a lot of mistakes like that. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. That's a pretty bad move. I'm going to do that first. You're still Atari'd here. And there's, like, you could actually die down here. That's a really bad move. Because now white is pretty much dead down here. Also, like, yeah, taking view of the whole, like, taking view of the big picture is very, very important. In terms of taking view of the big picture is very, very important for playing Go. The other thing is if I push K11, he cannot block. That's irrelevant. I don't think I have to answer that. Just gonna push K11. There is a ko here. I do have to remember there is a freaking ko here. But since I already have these two stones, it does not threaten this group anymore. So the ko is all on him to actually fight. Yeah, also like things like this, things like that are lower. I'm just gonna take this so I don't want to fight the ko. Things like that are where lower SDKs, like things like that, they should learn because that can actually gain you a lot of games. A lot of lower SDKs can't really see this push, so you will actually be able to take advantage of that. But I would say this guy is actually playing the right way when he's playing against me. A lot of lower ranked players, because they're afraid I see some magical move that they don't, they will actually like play extremely like passive, and you might not lose by quite as much against me if you do that, but there's a higher percent chance you're going to lose if you do that. Because if you play extremely passive, I mean, there's almost no chance you're going to win. That's useless. This is Sente. This is Sente. He has to. Yeah, he does have to respond to this. That's a decent response, but because otherwise I could have played K14 and then played immediately M15. Remember, like stones like this, if your group is already dead and you stick extra stones in Black's territory, you're essentially just giving him free points. There's nothing here either. I'm just doing that to be secure. This is a couple points here. Even though, like, obviously I'm winning by like 200 or more points right now, like he actually played a pretty good game for like a complete beginner. He did actually say he started 1 week ago, so he actually played a really good game for someone that started one week ago. And the thing about like this, I mean, that's useless. But and the thing about this game that is different from a lot of other games is that he wasn't actually afraid to play the more aggressive option sometimes. I mean, obviously, like because there's such a huge difference in rank, it didn't work out for him most of the time. But he wasn't actually afraid to play those moves, and that's really how you learn. A lot of these games, you go back, you review with the AI. Well, actually, no, I wouldn't actually review with the AI. At this stage in your Go progress, I would really just you actually need a live human being to review with you at this stage of your Go progress. Because like the AI is going to suggest certain moves, and you're not going to understand why the AI wants you to do certain moves at all. Like the AI will like say ignore this, play that thing across the board. Like I will understand that as, oh, that thing must be a lot bigger across the board. But for someone that's completely new in the game, they may not understand that. Or they just won't understand that really. This is pointless because this is all dead. I mean, I'm not going to respond to that. He does not have to do that. There are no more moves. There are actually no more moves.
Pass. Byo-yomi. Remove the dead stones. You have won.
Yeah, that's fine. That's actually fine. That I'm just telling him that like if he ever plays tournament, like he shouldn't play moves like this, because every time you actually play a stone in your opponent's territory and he doesn't answer, you are actually losing 1 point, and that could actually determine a game in a tournament. So you don't want to like play in your opponent's territory if it's already dead. He doesn't have to answer. I think I've explained this game pretty thoroughly when I played it. The right move is just to do this, and that's the way you generally play it. This is definitely not a good move. Obviously, if you do this, you have to follow through. You have to follow through. This is definitely advantage black. The amount of your shape that he breaks is going to be way more than what you gain in the corner, but it's not too bad. This you can't do this because you don't get anything. You don't get any territory. You don't get any influence, and you give him the entire corner. So this is a pure beginner mistake because unless you're a complete beginner, you won't let black take this stone. This is too important of a stone. So obviously, that nets me like 20 points. The actual Joseki, for those of you that don't know, is this. I mean, it's building influence for black, but there's plenty of options for black to invade. So that's the actual Joseki here. A move like this is always going to be bad. It strengthens black over here, separates your one stone, and you're still kind of weak over here too with this stone. You still have the invasion. You have the 3/3 invasion at any time, though. Yeah, if you're not going to cut here, which you can't right now, generally this is very bad because you just gave me this entire side. You still have the 3/3 invasion here, though. You do, and it's not too bad if you. It's actually not too bad if you play it right now. You still actually have the 3/3 invasion here. It's the one saving grace. Come out here. This is not going to be as important as this. Like, if you're white, you almost have to do this right now. Letting black come out here is just, like, it completely breaks your shape. You don't do, like, to me, this is an automatic, cut, and then I would fight these two stones here. To me, that's an automatic cut. I would not let black, yeah, I would have to fight it. Like, you have to fight at this point. You've given up so much here that you can't just let him come out for free. So, like, yes, it could be a dangerous fight, and no, you probably can't kill him because, he can do things like this. But at least you get some of the corner territory while he's trying to, like, escape. So that's pretty much an automatic cut for me. That's not going to work well for him. Obviously, I'm going to do that. I don't actually have to do this. I don't think. I can just do this. And there's always like moves like this. So I didn't have to do this move at all. And actually, this ended up pretty bad for me. So I don't think I can do this right now because I don't know what I would actually do. I think black's just dead here because obviously I'm pretty sure black's just dead here. So I can't actually do that cut. I have to do this. And this is generally a bad move. I think if you're white, you essentially have to do this right now. Yes, black does actually win this fight, so he does actually get the side, but that's just how these things work right now. Also, that move doesn't make sense. You should just probably connect this. You should probably just connect this. And essentially just let me live down here, I think. I think this is the way you would play it. You would essentially just let black, you would just do this, and then essentially just let black live down here. That's how you would actually play it. It's a much better shape than this, because once I get this and I get the Sente, I am actually going to do that. Because here I'm not as, if I don't do this and I just do that, I'm not quite as confident. I'm pretty sure it still works pretty well, but yeah, it still works. Because like that's a black win. If you do that, obviously it's black does this, and then you have problems like down here. So you're probably like at this point in how the liberties shake out. Once I do this, you're probably gonna have to give up these 2 stones, and you just have to make the best of it. That doesn't make the best of it. And yes, black is a couple liberties short. I don't know how this turns out. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that black still wins this. I have too many liberties in here because if he just goes elsewhere, if he tries to do this, I can always do this. He can't connect. So if he connects, I can just do this. So because he has to answer this with something like this, I'm almost sure that I win here. Hang on. I'm almost sure that I actually win here. Yeah. So, like I said, black does gain this down here. Black definitely does gain this down here. At this point, I think you just cut your losses and say good day. And that's what you do, and you'd play something else over here.
Challenge received.
That's basically what happens here. I don't have time to play another game, unfortunately, today. So this is just, you just need practice in reading. This is not, I didn't have to do that, but I didn't really read that while I was playing the game. So I just made sure that this is dead. The thing is, like, trying to get this middle territory is not going to work. Trying to get the middle territory is just generally not going to work. You have too many problems here. And eventually, like what we showed, he sacrificed way too much territory to actually just gain a little bit of middle territory. Even if white did this right, he would never be able to gain enough middle territory to make up for what he lost. So that's just how that works. This is obviously this is a teaching point. I probably wouldn't have played this right away if I was playing an even game. So once again, like, there's 2 ways to Atari here. There's actually 3. You can play this, but if you play this, if you play this and he does that, play it this way. But I still think this is the best way to Atari. If you do this is the worst way to Atari. He would just do this, and you would just get 2 stones. And these 2 stones are exactly 4 points. But if you play this way, he can't connect. So these 2 stones are way more important than these 2, because these 2 stones get you on the outside and it breaks his territory. So that's actually what I did. That doesn't really do anything. So I'm just going to come up here and lessen his territory up here. That's perfectly fine, actually. Once again, you can see that there's like way too much. Once again here, you can see that there's just like way too many problems in cutting points here and trying to get the middle. And what I'm actually, well, that's obviously a bad move. Here you have to save here. You have to save these stones. You're just letting me carve out too much. Yeah, like this. Once again, like, that attachment's bad. You would just do this. You just want to make sure that these actually go home safely. Because, like, if you do this, there's problems if I push, obviously. That, like, you're just creating a million cutting points that you're never going to be able to solve. And obviously, like, experience would show you that if you played R12, this is just dead. So you would probably just play like something like this. So this lets me get down, and this basically is dead. Once I do that, that's dead. This is also like the same mistake here. This is stone's too important. So you would definitely connect here. There's no way I would actually do this. I mean, the easiest thing you can see is this, and then you would get these 2 stones. So I can't actually disconnect you here. So obviously that gets me even more. And I think, like, right now it's just white's too obsessive with controlling the center territory. And it's costed him this, it's costed him that, It's cost them a lot of other territory. And here, like, some of you's first reaction must be like, I gotta kill this stone or how I have to get this entire bottom territory, but you don't really have to. You're clearly ahead. So all you really have to do is secure whatever territory you actually have. And there's really no way you can kill this stone in an evenly matched game. So you just come up here, destroy the center territory that he actually has. And the rest of this, like I said, like, you'd obviously do this because that actually connects all these stones. This move is just something that you have to practice on. Like, as you go up in rank, you will be able to see these moves. And the thing is, like, he has to Atari you. If he doesn't, you always have this move. And when he does, you have the cut down here. That's what I was looking at right there. Now, there is some possible things to do, like here. So if I was white, I would probably try to do this. Because if you do this, that's obviously that's ko for this. So this is like, once you're in this situation, and black would probably just connect here at this point, and then let white take this. That's how this should actually be played. So there's a little bit of aji here, but these are just moves that you basically have to be able to read if you want to move up into the upper Q or Dan rank. So that's one learning thing, like how to cut this. That's one learning point for a lower STK game. So yeah, I think that's the last learning point here that I'm really going to teach. Just a lot of basic mistakes, but also like a couple of technical things like here, here, and a couple of other things in this game that, you know, you could actually take advantage of. So that's going to be it for today. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. I will be back tomorrow, and I will see you guys later.